20 years. That's how long fans of Firefly have been holding the line. One season, one film, Serenity, that tried to give us closure and instead left a hole in the cockpit. And then nothing. Silence. Until now. Because over the last few days, something's happened. This isn't just views. It's not just comments. It's a signal. Hundreds of you showing up, sharing your thoughts, debating, pushing back. Not because you want more content, but because you want this to be done right. So this video isn't just mine. This is ours. This is the Browncoat Manifesto. After the last 3 videos, one thing is crystal clear. People don't just love Firefly, they protect it. And going through the comments, there's a pattern. Different opinions, different ideas, but underneath it all, a shared understanding of what made this show work in the first place. So instead of just giving my take again, I wanted to step back a bit and pull together what feels like a collective voice. Not a list of complaints, not nostalgia for the sake of it, but a set of unspoken rules. Things that, if this revival is real, cannot be ignored. The blueprint matters more than the creator. Let's start with the uncomfortable one. Firefly is closely tied to Joss Whedon, and for a lot of people that raises a question. Can this work without him? Now, opinions are split. Some people feel you need that original voice, that tone, that specific rhythm in the dialogue. But there's another idea that kept coming up again and again. And it's actually really interesting. The idea of a character blueprint. What made Firefly special wasn't just the writing. It was how well these characters were built. Mel, Zoe, Jane, Kaylee. They don't feel like characters you wrote. They feel like people you met. And if that foundation is strong enough, then maybe the right writers could step in and carry that forward. Not by copying the original, but by understanding it. Because if the dialogue loses that rhythm, if Mal stops sounding like Mal, the illusion breaks instantly. The crew is the show. This is where things get emotional. Because there's one topic that came up more than anything else. The crew. Specifically, who's missing? The events of Serenity changed everything, and people haven't forgotten that. There's a real divide here. Some feel you can't bring certain characters back at all, that doing so would undo the weight of what happened. Others are open to it, but only if it makes sense. Only if it's earned. And that's the key point. Firefly doesn't operate on easy solutions. It's not a universe where things just get fixed. Everything has a cost. So whether this revival goes prequel or finds a way to bring the full crew together again, it has to respect that. Because if you remove the consequences, you remove the meaning. And if you lose that, you don't just lose the character, you lose the heart of the show. This world cannot be clean. This one came through loud and clear. Do not make Firefly shiny. The world of Serenity was never polished. It was worn down, scratched, barely holding together some days. That's what made it feel real. This wasn't a universe of heroes saving the galaxy. It was people trying to get by, trying to keep flying, trying to stay one step ahead of everything closing in. And that used future look. That's not just aesthetic, that's storytelling. If this new version smooths that out, cleans it up, makes it feel safe, then it stops being Firefly. Animation isn't the problem. Execution is. Now let's talk about the big shift. Animation. This is where opinions really split. Some people just don't want it. Full stop. Because Firefly feels like a live-action show. That physical presence, that grounded feeling, is part of the identity, but others are looking at it differently. Animation could allow Bigger worlds, more stories, more flexibility with the cast. So maybe the question isn't, should it be animated? Maybe the real question is, how is it animated? Because if it looks cheap, if it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, it's over before it even starts. But if it's handled with care, with detail, with that same sense of grit and weight, then animation might actually be the thing that makes this possible. Don't sand the edges down. This might be the biggest concern of all: tone. Firefly wasn't safe, it wasn't clean, it lived in grey areas, morally, emotionally. Even the characters weren't always likeable, and that's what made them real. There's a genuine worry that a revival could soften that, make it more accessible, more mainstream, but that comes at a cost, because the moment Firefly becomes safe, it stops being Firefly. This world needs rough edges, difficult choices, consequences. Otherwise, it's just another sci-fi show. Final thoughts. This isn't just nostalgia. So here's what all this comes down to. This isn't just people asking for more Firefly. It's people saying, if you're going to bring it back, do it properly. There's passion here, but there's also clarity. Fans know exactly what they don't want, and more importantly, they know what made this work in the first place. And that's very rare. So now I'll throw this back to you. Does this feel right? Does this manifesto reflect how you feel about a Firefly revival? Or is there one thing, one line you would draw that I didn't mention? Drop it in the comments. Let's build this properly. And if you've been enjoying this Firefly series and you want me to keep following this story as it develops, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. Because if this revival actually happens, we're definitely going to be watching this unfold.